Hi everybody, I'm Vaccaro from Dragon Flow Yoga. Today I wanted to make a video about back therapy and back care. Basically, I hurt my lower back lately, and so I haven't been releasing as many videos, but I wanted to release this one for you today. So the first couple of exercises, you're basically on the ball with your legs on the ball. This releases your psoas muscles, which is a muscle connected in the deep tissue of your kind of abdomen and legs and lower back. Basically, the psoas, if you have it tense, it basically hurts your lower back and tenses up other areas in that region, right? Another exercise you can do is you can interlace your fingers, you can touch the knees, and just bring it back again. While you're doing this, what you can do is once you lengthen the arm back, you kind of bring the back in neutral or have a little curve in the lower back. And once you bring the hands towards the knees, you can kind of press the lower back and crunch the abdomen into the floor. This will help out quite a bit more. So why is it important to release the psoas? Because the psoas is a monitor for the central nervous system, and by releasing the psoas, you actually calm down the central nervous system and calm down some of the injuries that you may have in your lower back and or in that general region altogether. So another exercise you could do is bring the hands together like this, bring them up and close. This is also good for the shoulders. Next exercise is really good. What you want to do is you want to put your leg on something that's about 2 inches off the ground. Today all I found was like a cushiony rubber balance apparatus. I don't even know what it's called. And so you extend the arm of the leg that's on the little 2-inch apparatus, and you do that 3 sets of 20 seconds. I didn't show all 3 sets because then the video would be quite long, and then you do the opposite side. This releases the lower back quite a fair bit. Next exercise is you square off the hips and you come into a low lunge. And basically this, what it'll do is it'll stretch out your groin area. And by stretching out your groin area, you actually release some muscles in the psoas and in the lower back. This also you want to do about 3 sets to 20 to 30 seconds. I showed only 1 set on each leg as not to bore you and to keep the video quite dynamic. It is an 8-minute video after all. If I would have showed all the sets, it would have probably been somewhere into 15 minutes. So again, you gear yourself up like this, and then you prepare yourself for another set, and so on until you've done 3 sets, 20 to 30 seconds each set. Yeah? So, next thing what you do is you do pelvic tilts. So right now you see that my lower back is arched, and you tilt the pelvic and you imprint on the mat. And then you arc it again, and then you bring it on the mat. This also releases the lower back muscles and psoas quite a fair bit and feels very good. And it's very important that the legs and the feet are in the same position that I show in the video in order to do this exercise properly and efficiently. Again, I want you to engage the abdomen when you're pressing your lower back onto the mat and push the abs there as hard as possible, but with a sense of tranquility and not restricting your breath from flowing rhythmically and with intention. Do this a couple of times. You'll see that the lower back and the sacral area will be sort of well stretched, and you'll feel quite better if you're experiencing any form of back problems. So next exercise is where you can just lengthen the arms, just stay here, arc your lower back, and you can just rest here 2-3 minutes if you want, and it releases the psoas and lower back quite a fair bit. Next thing is, I call this Brazilian booty. What you do is you come on your stomach and you bring your knees towards your chest, creating sort of this bubble butt sensation, and this will stretch all the muscles in the buttocks and lower back. It feels really good. It feels really nice on the lower back. You do need a slippery surface though. Sometimes I try doing this on yoga and or Pilates mats, and you don't get that slippery sensation, and you kind of drag the whole mat with you, and you don't stretch out anything. So again, slippery surface, a floor is probably best. Next exercise, you grab a foam roller and you bring it right underneath your buttock, and you don't have to necessarily roll, just lengthen the legs, look towards the ceiling, stay here 2 or 3 minutes or as long as it's comfortable. Make sure that there's no pain in the back, or else you're defying the purpose of what all this is for, is to kind of create therapy in the lower back and feel really, really good. Stay there, like I said, 2-3 minutes, have fun with it. This is like very passive exercising, yeah? It's not kind of the calisthenics that we're used to, where we're pumping like a lot of weights, a lot of repetition, and all that stuff. So Next exercises that I'm going to take you through are simple breathing exercises. You'll notice that when you're injured, a lot of it is due to tension. If you learn how to breathe deep, this tension will go away. What you want to do is take a block or one of those aerobic step things and sit on it, as it'll help you elongate the spinal column. If you're on the floor straight away, it'll collapse the shoulders in a little bit and it'll defy the purpose of trying to breathe deeply and rhythmically. Here at least the spinal column is lifted, and so that's pretty much it. First exercise, you bring the fingers around the stomach and you want to bring out the stomach as much as possible, almost Buddha belly style, right? And then you exhale, you completely get rid of everything, all the carbon monoxide, all the exhale, and so on. And so you do this about 45 seconds to a minute, or as long as you see comfortable. Next breathing exercise we're gonna do, which you'll see shortly, you're just gonna bring the fingers out to the side, touching the floor. And you're gonna inhale, you're gonna lift the right shoulder, and then you're gonna exhale. Right? And you do it nice and slow. Take all the time you need. And with these breathing exercises, you don't want to breathe like you're usually breathing, fast and shallow. You actually want to do it as deep and as rhythmic as possible. And I noticed yesterday that by doing 5 minutes of these breathing exercises, already my lower back felt far, far better than when I started the practice and I couldn't even bend over to touch my knees. So just again, you inhale, you lift the shoulder. You exhale, you lower it down, and you do the opposite side. Inhale, you lift the shoulder, and exhale, you lower it down. It feels really good. So try moving with your breath in these exercises. Next exercise, you bring the hands on the shoulder, and you elongate the spine on every inhale, and you release and sort of curve just a little bit on every exhale. Again, you elongate the spine on every inhale, and you curve just a little bit on every exhale. This feels really, really good on the vertebrae in the spine, and it feels really, really good to release the back in general, right? So keep on doing it as long as you see fit. Here I think I did it for 5 or 6 breaths just to show it for the video. I normally mess around with these exercises about 1 minute to 2 minutes each, but again, I didn't want the video to be too long, and so that's pretty much it. Next exercise, bring your hands on your knees. And you want to breathe with a natural curve in your spine, right? So you inhale, you bring the neck back, and you exhale, slight curve. When you inhale, you elongate to the maximum, you actually bend over towards the back just a tiny wee bit, and then you exhale, fold forward. And you keep on repeating this motion. From what I've heard, I'm not 100% sure, this is actually how we breathe when we're in utero. So when our mom is pregnant with us, this is how we breathe inside the uterus, right? So this is the first breathing exercise we practice before being born. And so you'll notice that this exercise is really, really good for the back and the lower back. Guys, I hope all these exercises were helpful for you, and namaste. Please write me with any questions.